All right, so we are live this morning with a special edition show here to go over the progress of the Blonde Assassin 3 Alternative Narratives campaign. And yes, this is Demon Phil here. You're seeing the audio avatar because Demon Phil doesn't show his face before like noonish, simply because the coffee hasn't entertained the entire body yet, and you don't want to see what happens whenever that doesn't happen. So we're going to be doing this show and having some fun on this and talking about some things with Blonde Assassin and alternative narratives. Make sure we get a few more people in here, get some things going. If you are in here, get those shares out there. Let's let people know that we got the show going on. Again, not my regular time, so people are going to be looking at this thinking I'm talking about something that's going wrong. It's not going wrong. This is something that's going good. So let me go ahead and make sure everything's set up on my end. Green checks all the way across there. We're ready to go ahead and start bringing up some more people on here. Let's go ahead and start bringing our crew up. We've got the Tinsley boy team. We're going to bring them up. Get ready for them because here we go. We're going to start off with Jake Tinsley is here. What's up, Jake?
Hey, what's up?
We got Ben Tinsley is here.
What's up?
What's up, Ben? And we have got Jason Doobie's desk is here.
Hey, hey, hey. Good morning, everyone.
And it talks, too. That's awesome. What's up, Jason? Besides us, of course.
Hi, I'm Jason.
The coffee's hot. The chocolate cookies are starting to kick in. Everything's working. It's good. It's all good.
I mean, it's almost like a Saturday morning cartoon special here right now. We've got, a couple of people, as guests on here, and then we've got Jason's desk as the, the host of this thing. That's awesome. As long as it doesn't start singing cartoon songs in the morning, because not enough coffee for that just yet. Well, before we get started into all of the talk about all this and everything, we're going to kind of go around the room, let people know who you are, what you do, where to find you type thing. So, Jake, why don't you go ahead and start off with this? We'll go to Ben. We'll end up with Jason on here.
I'm Jake Tinsley, as it says on my thing. I'm the co-founder of the
Does Jake think he's talking?
What?
You're good. No, you're good.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah.
But Dad says he can't hear me.
I for some reason this arrow keeps coming back on.
The hell? Okay. Can you hear me, Dad?
No, I cannot hear you, son. Yes, I can hear you, Jake.
Jake Tinsley, co-founder of the Tinsley Boys Shared Universe. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of right now. There's more, but can't think about it.
But wait, there's more.
Well, I mean, the fact that, child prodigy, working in comics since, young guy and everything, still working on them as you're getting older and getting better at it and all. So, yeah, there's more stuff to get into, which we will be discussing as well.
Yeah, I just feel like that goes without saying, though.
Yeah, that's why PR was invented, buddy.
All right, Ben, how about you?
Doing good. How you doing?
Doing all right. So go ahead and let us know who you are and what you do and where to find you.
I'm Ben Tinsley. I'm a comic writer, also film actor, also singer. Right now working on the Blonde Assassin promotion with my Blonde Assassin issue 3 comic and my son's alternative narratives part issue 1 comic. We've been working together on comics since 2007. And yeah, he do the math. He was a 12-year-old and, just been doing it since then, but recently hit some strides with our alternative narratives. What I meant to say was our Kickstarter. The Kickstarters.
And there will be, I'm going to let everybody right now, there's going to be some mistakes in what we're saying and kind of tongue-tied and everything because it's early in the morning. The coffee hasn't hit just yet, so just bear with us on this one. Now we're going to go to Jason Doobie's desk over there. Jason Doobie's desk, who are you and what are you doing? Where do we find you?
Yeah, who am I? My name's Jason Doobie, comic book, artist, sometimes
Artiste.
writer, sometimes publisher. Always working hard, trying to make the dream come true, bring some new creative life to the world, I guess. And yeah, the coffee's still kicking in, so if I'm not making much sense, sorry about that. I'm here to join the Tinsley boys here, help them promote their amazing Blonde Assassin alternative narratives campaign and do a little art support for my bros. And and this stuff is being published also by Scatter Comics, which is a umbrella company where a bunch of creators bring their own properties over, and we just are a group of creators that help and promote each other. And so that's what we're doing today. We're going to be promoting the heck out of this amazing campaign. If you guys haven't jumped on this campaign already, you should do it now. We are at the last week, and these books, I can't tell you if they're going to be around to get these editions. So if you are a collector and you need to get these editions now, because they may not be around anymore. So jump on it now and get yourself some books.
Exactly. Well spoken. So, I mean, we are in the last week. We've been running the campaign on this for almost exactly 3 weeks for Blonde Assassin 3 and Alternative Narratives. And we're going to kind of discuss what each of these books brings to the table on here and kind of go into a little bit of detail on this. And the first thing I want to kind of go into is with Blonde Assassin 3. You've already had, Blonde Assassin 1 and 2 has come out, been on campaign, been successful with that and everything. With Blonde Assassin 3, what are people expecting to see out of this? The non-spoiler edition of what you can expect from Blonde Assassin 3.
If I've done my job, they're not going to know what to expect. Good characters, lots of action, interesting story twists, lots of story twists.
That is the way to do it right there.
I'm sorry, you're starting to sound like a robot again. Did you say that again?
No, I said that is the way to do it right there.
Yes, it is. It is the way to do it. And, good-looking women.
That doesn't hurt either.
No.
Now, go ahead and give them the synopsis of what Blonde Assassin is, the overall concept of what Blonde Assassin is moving forward with this.
It's a spy story turned horror nightmare. You think you're just dealing with I don't know, almost like a murder flick, and then you end up with deep mythological ties and no idea what's going to happen next. I hate giving out plot points because I feel like it's something I could use later in the story. So.
Oh no, absolutely. That's why I said non-spoiler.
Surrender is the named character. She's the spy known as the Blonde Assassin. Her partner in crime is El Diablo, the Shane de la Vega, very famous Nick Fury-esque spy in their universe, and their partner in crime, Ray, otherwise known as Blue Blazer, who can teleport and shapeshift and do all sorts of cool stuff. So they think they're on just a normal, slash and burn, and they just ends up being tied to their past and their future.
There you go.
And there's werewolves.
And there's werewolves. Yes, there are. And we're not going to go into detail on what is, encompassing around and on the werewolves and stuff, because that's something you just got to read, because your jaw will drop whenever you read this thing and figure out what's going on and how this is written out. Like you said, if you think you've got it figured out, then he hasn't done his job. I'm going to tell you right now, he has done his job.
Absolutely.
So Blonde Assassin 3 is on here, continuing on the saga. Of course, it doesn't look like this thing is slowing down anytime soon. I'm pretty sure we're expecting more of the story to unfold moving around from here. But this also opens up into the universe that's kind of encompassing this, which brings me into alternative narratives. And that one has been an interesting one to discuss with Jake throughout the time we've been doing this as well, because this is a story that has no ceiling. And I mean, I most people can't say that. They can usually say it's got either a top, a bottom, an end, a beginning, something like that, but it can be written any way you want to do that. Jake, how did you come up with the idea for alternative narratives?
Well, it sort of came together by itself. That sounds a bit weird, but it's like, I grew up on things like the X-Files and Courage the Cowardly Dog, reading creepypasta, watching other things of similar composition. And it was always in the back of my head. Like, what if someone had to deal with this stuff and it wasn't just one story arc? What if it was like the entire point of the series? And so, after a while of tooling around with different ideas and different characters, and it finally came together, and it's absolutely nuts, and it's terrifying to think about that one minute you might be, like you might be in a universe where you were, happy, loved, married, and with kids, and then the next minute you're a homeless person or something like that. Nothing is solid, and the only people that are even slightly solid are the people that are the closest to the center of the problem. And even then, not really.
And see, that's what I love about it, is that every time that I talk to you about this, it's always, and that's the way it ends, but not really. And I love how you throw that in there, because it is, with this kind of story, it can actually go in any direction you want it to go. I mean, you could wake up one morning going, I got a better idea. I could have done this better a different way. Let's do it now. And you can actually run with that on this. It can change up so many different ways and different times on there. It's almost like the Thanos snap. You're going back and snapping and starting over with this, but with no there's no accountability on what's going on. It just kind of happens, and everybody's trying to figure out why it happened, what's going on, and in the process, just more is happening. So it's the butterfly effect on top of that, correct?
Yeah. It's just so many things colliding and pulling away from each other and smashing into each other destructively. And you've got this the situation that is completely, it seems completely out of your control, but it's somehow this one guy has the answer to most, if not all, the problems. He just needs to find a way to get it done, and that's the entire point of the series.
Nice. Now I want to change focus down here to Jason Doobie, because he is working feverishly on this this print that he's doing down there, this picture.
Oh, I got no idea what I'm doing here.
The main point that I want to bring up is I want to go ahead and bring up to all of the AI swipers, whatever you want to call them. They're not artists.
The AI will never be able to do my stuff, because it's
exactly. I mean, this is exactly how it's done, because we just started talking. That was a blank piece of paper when we first started, and we're already up to this. And of course, you'll change up some things as we go along.
One assassin while Ben was talking, then I just started doing Monique, who's the main blonde bombshell in narratives, while Jake was talking. So now that I'm talking, what am I going to draw?
I don't know. You got to figure out something now.
I won't draw nothing. I'll just drink my coffee.
So go ahead and tell us how Scattered Comics come together.
Scattered Comics. Originally it started with me just for the last 30 years just doing my own comic books, mostly like Xeroxes, going to Kinko's in the middle of the night, printing up some copies for my friends. They're like little 7-pagers, and then that just evolved as the years went on to getting into full color comics. We lost Ben, and from there I started meeting other creators locally, and from meeting other creators locally, we started talking about, man, doing these comics is great, but it's hard doing it on your own. So the idea was, well, why don't we band together, basically? We'll all, nobody owns each other's properties or anything like that. We'll just go under one banner, which was Scattered. So it's great. It's a bunch of different creators who come from different walks of life. We all have different opinions, which is really rare in this day and age. And we just do what we love to do, and we get along and do our thing and help build each other up. And when Ben and Jake came with their properties over to Scattered, it's been a lot of fun. They are really showing a lot of momentum right now. They're not, which is good. They're not talking about everything they're working on right now, but let's just say the future looks very bright for their comic lines, and it's pretty inspiring, really, to watch them just flourish. And a lot of us creators are just watching them go and going, dang, I want to do what they're doing. I mean, we're already doing our stuff, but we need to step it up. These guys are showing us what's going on. So that's kind of where Scattered Comics is with these guys. And I wanted to say that both of them talking about their books, they're really, I don't feel like they're really touching the real juice on what these books are. These books are really incredible and amazing. And Jake talking about what alternative narratives, I'm like, oh man, You guys just don't know. This book is crazy. It can go anywhere.
Oh, Dad's
So-
back. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, we can stop talking about it. No, Ben is having internet issues, so he'll pop in and out at times. But
Naked.
yeah, I tried to keep going while he was missing. So
there you go. I mean, Jason was talking about, the work that y'all are doing, and the fact that, he and Scattered Comics, the way that they're seeing both of y'all as new creators kind of working through this as the work that you're putting out there. He said it's really inspiring to the rest of the crew at Scattered Comics, showing that it can be done and how it, can be done with that. And that does bring up a really good point, because whenever you're doing this, it's always been said it's easiest to go ahead and put out one book, your first issue, whatever type thing. The challenge is to always have a secondary book come out somehow, some way, because that shows that you actually have foundation to go ahead and keep doing this. And a lot of creators will come out, they'll put one book out, see how very, very difficult and very time consuming and stressful and everything it is to create these books, and then decide not to do anything from there. So what is one thing that you've learned, Jake, kind of going through here with the process of building this, the first campaign on this, and coming up with this and running this, that you've learned from, that you would like to go ahead and take into the next one as a bit of knowledge?
Well, everything that has been learned I learned a lot doing this project. Like, the fact that delegation is everything. We have people who do one book and people who do another, and not everyone is on the same page, and that's good sometimes, but most of the time it's kind of difficult, and that's just how things are, with this sort of thing. And I was gonna say our success is due in no small part to Jason's absolute genius and his entire workforce, who's been basically paving the way for us this whole time. Like we're like at the head of it, yeah, but he's the body and the legs and the arms and all that stuff. That's it's really great that he's helping us to do this stuff.
That is awesome. I mean, now the fact that Jason is now a Frankenstein monster is kind of, we're going to, I'd like to delve into that, on how he came up with the Frankenstein monster that we're piecing together that created this. But no, Jason is great. I've talked with him and had him on the show several times as a guest as well, and discussed some of his projects and things like that as well. And he is up and moving on his things. I do want to give a shout out that Jason does have an upcoming project called Blinth, which we will be talking about at the end of the show, because he will be giving you a call to action, letting you know to go check that out. Don't blink on that one. Yeah, see, I threw that in on purpose. You catch that? But make sure that you check that out as well, because Jason is very skilled, not only in helping others, get to their point they want to and everything, but his IPs as well. What is something, I'm going to ask Ben this one. Ben, what is something that you have learned from Jason specifically that you want to take into your next campaigns moving forward, that you really feel that he has strengthened you on?
Well, what haven't we learned from Jason? I mean, it's there's a lot. I mean, it's all work related. I mean, plan your assignment well, make sure that you clue him in on everything. I mean, what it takes to do it. I mean, you can't just walk in off the street and throw a comic out there and have it, sell. You got to do tons of work on it. So I know I sound like somebody's dad saying that, but I mean, that's what I've learned, is just how much work it takes. And,
Well, I mean, technically you are someone's dad, and that's the other thing here, is that y'all are working together, on this project and alternative narratives, Blonde Assassin 3 coming out there. What is something as a father-son team that y'all have learned that has really worked very well for you in this campaign that you would like to move forward on other campaigns with?
Well, basically, oh, there goes Dad again. My big thing takeaway from this whole experience has to be the fact that it's a lot easier when we all work as a team. Like I delegate most of the stuff, but that's because Dad's doing his acting thing, you know. And that's not to say that he's not involved. In fact, recently he's been very involved with the production of certain issues that don't pertain specifically to this campaign that we're doing. But he's you know, we all work as a team, and so as long as we stay in the chain gang, it's, you know, it's going to get out. It's going to get out quicker.
Oh, absolutely. And that's one thing too that a lot of people, they may or may not understand, is that whenever you go and get these books, or whenever you go on campaigns and you purchase them or whatever, there are no elves that come out at midnight and create these books for them. That just doesn't happen. And I know we all laugh about it, but whenever you actually really go behind the scenes and figure out all the hard work that's put into creating the books, to marketing, to, you know, putting them on campaigns, to running the campaigns, and then to the monster of fulfilling, I mean, there's all kinds of, you know, elements that are involved in there, and all different hats to wear on that. Jason, what is some of the best advice that you've given to not only the Tinsley boys, but other people that you work with in dealing with all of these different factors and how to wear all these different hats?
I'm always full of advice, but what specifically what are you talking about? Like the campaigning part or the creating part, or what?
Like whenever they come to you with an IP, with an idea, and they say, hey, we want to actually make this into a physical book, we want it in our hands. What's the way that you actually kind of cradle that and say, we can do this, we just need to go through ABCD type thing?
The first thing is, do they have their story? You know, do they have it all fleshed out so that you can? I think the biggest challenge most of the time is the translation between a writer and an artist, and which is what when I run the studio, this is why my job is secure, because I bridge that gap between the writer, creator, and the artist, because artists think one way and writers, well, I'm not saying that all of them do, but in my experience, writers think a completely different way than the artists do, and not saying one way is better than the other, but there is a nice little bridge gap there that needs to needs to be connected. And I, doing both writing and drawing, I know how to talk to the I guess not the writer, but because writers talk to me normally, but the artists, they all think creatively, they all think visually. So, and they need to basically, okay, I see the script, but what does it mean? It's like, okay, let me do some sketches for you what they mean, what they're trying to get at. And
Right.
so that's what I find is the biggest thing. But if you already have a team that you are working with, if you're a writer artist team, or if you're a writer and an artist, you don't have to worry about that. But that's always the first challenge, is just getting the translation down. The next challenge is probably just being patient with the project. A lot of people go in with expectations of how quickly it's going to get done, or how much money it's going to make right away, or, you know, just preconceived notions of what should happen. That's the best part. What should happen with this project, because everyone's got great projects and ideas in their mind, and they want to see it rocket to success right away, of course. But sometimes it just takes a little bit takes some work. I mean, Ben will tell you, he's been doing, and Jake too. They've been doing comics. They're no spring chicken on the comic book veteran side of this. They've seen the ups and downs in the comic book industry, and they've seen their books, you know, move, and they probably could tell you a lot more about what the market is for their books too. Like, oh, this book attracts these kind of market. This other book attracts this other kind of market. But all right, I'm just rambling now, and I think I've answered the question now.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I mean, it does. It makes a lot of sense, because you do have to have a foundation going into this. You can't just come in and say, I have an idea, and then all of a sudden the artist is going to take what's in your brain and put that onto the paper. They will put something down there, and 9 times out of 10 it won't match up, because you can't articulate exactly what you want to have out there. And I just want to kind of point out that I've even had some interactions with Jason on some works that I'm doing with him on the side as well. And there are times whenever Jason will reach out to me and say, never, ever use these words again. I want you to say such and such, but never use these, because this confuses me.
Yeah.
I don't understand artist lingo. Therefore,
like, I don't think you know what you're saying to me right now.
I'm not allowed to use the word bleeds anymore. I don't understand why exactly, but I can't use that word. So we'll figure it out. But what is something that, with alternative narratives, what is something that you've put into this that has really stood out to you that you can talk about, that has really excited you, that you can't wait for people to see?
All right. Well, it won't stand out to everyone immediately, but I've actually, the people that are main characters in this book are directly taken from, most of them are directly taken out of my own life. For one of the main characters, his name is Blake, is he's not just a normal guy for a reason. He's literally was my best friend, or is my best friend. Um, in like real life. He didn't really give me any permission to do this, but he was like, "Oh, cool! I can't wait to see it." He didn't think it would ever happen because we talked about it like years back. Like, "Hey man, you're actually a really cool dude. I want to write you into one of my comics." And he's like, it's a cool idea, but it's never gonna happen." And here we are.
Nice.
Same happened with the guy, like the character of Professor Demos. He's actually based off of a one of my favorite YouTubers from when I was a kid, Iggy35. I tagged him and I sent him the link to the video, and he's like, "Dude, that was years ago." And like we talked about it, and it's like, I want to your content's really cool. I want to put you in a comic book. He's like, me in a comic book, but like, here we are.
Nice. Now, Ben, we're going to go ahead and jump in the DeLorean, and we're going to go 88 miles an hour and go back in time on this one. I want to take you back to whenever Jake was 12 years old, and I want to go through the emotions that were going through you whenever he was asked to go on to the Today Show and talk about Night Owl and all the experiences that were going on with that. What were your emotions going through that whenever your son was being put up there and talked to about his first comic at that age?
It was a big WTF because I didn't believe it at first, and then there he was, just walking down the street.
That is awesome. I mean,
Singing "Do What Dixie."
Yeah, do what did he do? There you go. No, see the coffee starting to kick in a little bit now. So I mean, in moving forward with this, how much of an influence have you been on him to go ahead and keep creating and keep doing what he's doing with this? I mean, have you kind of given him a push every once in a while, or has he given you a push as well, and y'all pushing each other?
That's a Jake question. I the last person to talk to about what I do. I like to think I've been supportive.
You could call us. There was a joke at Family Guy some time ago. It's like a fake advertisement for a fake show, and it's like shoving buddies. And if you want to talk about who's pushing who, it's kind of equal. Like he'll come over, he'll like bump me, and I'll bump him back with an idea. Just like we toss it around a lot. Like he'll call me in the middle of the night, and he'll be like, "Yo, what if like we had a monkey with the powers of Superman?" It's just like really, really funny stuff. And like we'll talk about it, and then we'll realize how late it is. We could talk for hours about that sort of thing. Like it's not exactly a limited subject because we're both overflowing fonts of random creativity, and we kind of had this pledge when we started this thing to let the most absurd ideas make its way onto the paper, and I think we've done that pretty well.
Interesting. I was curious because there are times whenever I'll start reading these and it's like, that's way far fetched. And then I'll read the next issue going, wow, they outdid far fetched on this one. And it still works within the story, but it's just above and beyond, the outspoken nature of it and all. So
Yeah,
it's
like
cool that y'all actually have that kind of back and forth banter on there going, okay, you can do this. Let's try this one.
yeah, and like the Blonde Assassin 2 has this thing that there's a thing in there that we discussed ages ago like I said, like a lot of this stuff that we're doing now is from back when I was a kid, and we were just starting to think about this sort of thing. And he started, it was like, well, what if we had a horror comic about like, you have it's I don't know if I'm allowed to go into detail about the certain plot point, but it was you can tell when that pops up.
Right. No, I know exactly what you're talking about, and yeah, let's not tell them because they have to get that factor on their face like I did whenever I first read it. Because Ben didn't tell me about it. I got the book, and then whenever I read through it, I was like, no freaking way. I mean, it was just your jaws on the ground, going, "There's no way possible." But yeah, y'all have a lot of fun with this. You do. You have a lot of fun with the series that you're working with so far. Night Owl. Let's talk about Night Owl a little bit here briefly on this one, because this is kind of what started it in going through all of this. And webcomic, is Night Owl going to see a release in more of a comic form to the masses that are out there? I know there's a comic of Night Owl, but is it going to be more of something else that'll be remastered or revisited later?
We are working on many Night Owl titles.
Ah,
Yes, exactly.
I like that answer. That's very hush hush and not talk about it type thing.
What were you talking about? The Night Owl thing that you're talking about from before?
What do you mean? We were talking about. He was actually talking about like we were doing the back and forth thing where we think of like the most absurd stuff and we put it in our comics, because you and I, we had that agreement that's like, we'll do the most absurd stuff that no one expects.
Right.
And I talked specifically about a certain plot point in Blonde Assassin 2 that made it onto the page from my childhood. I did not discuss the exact plot point, but I think you know what we're talking about, Dad.
The one in hell?
Yeah.
The one on the toilet in hell?
I love my daddy.
Yeah. Yeah, like I told Jake, I said that's one that they have to read, because that's something that you're reading going, there's no way this is possible. And it fits, though. It actually fits within the storyline, but in such an absurd way that you're looking at going, where did I miss where this comes in?
Phil, did you read
It
the
doesn't
newest
matter.
one?
I'm so proud of myself.
It's crazy.
What was it, Jason?
I said, did you read? I'm not giving any spoilers, but the one that they're campaigning on right now, the Blonde Assassin. Have you read that one yet?
I have not as of yet. I am waiting on my copy so that I can look at that.
It gets crazy. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I can only imagine. I mean, because one kind of set the tempo. Two came out and went ahead and jumped that line. There was no definitive line in the sand. I mean, they jumped the line. There was, absolutely no ands, ifs, or buts about it. And then so I can only imagine how far 3 goes. And then just the thought of how alternative narratives, what it's about and everything, there are so many different directions that could possibly go. And really, how do you look at that going, it's not possible, whenever everything's possible in that book?
Yeah, you're going to be shocked.
True.
So, I mean, with taking something along the lines of alternative narratives, what's the next step in this? How do you actually one-up alternative narratives with something else that's out there whenever you have a non-sealing book? How do you kind of go off of that universe and create more of the Tinsley Boys IPs that are out there?
You'll see.
It's
I'm not going to tell you.
It's not exactly a question of how, it's when.
Ah,
Because
okay.
if you think this story has no ceiling, but our IP, the length and the depth and the height of our own IP, seeming to have no ceiling as it is. So, we have a lot coming for you.
Nice. All right, so we are in the last week of the Blonde Assassin 3 and Alternative Narratives campaign. We do have the links embedded in the feeds that are out here right now. So Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter all have the links embedded in there. Very easy to get to. If you need them, you simply go to the description. It is right there to get into. I'm going to go ahead and give each one of these creators the last moment here on the screen to go ahead and let you know why you need to go ahead and jump over there and support in any way you possibly can. We're going to start off with Jake on this one, and we're going to be talking about the alternative narratives with him, since that's mainly what he is working on there. And again, if you don't know what that is, there's Blonde Assassin right there, and there is alternative narratives we're talking about. So, Jake, let's go ahead and give you full screen on this one and let them know why they need to jump over there and check out the campaign.
Well, plain and simple. First off, the more you donate, the more we'll be able to put out in the future. That's not what I'm supposed to be talking about, though. Alternative narratives is something you've probably never seen before. You probably thought about it if you were watching the X-Files one day and just thought, man, what if there was like more of this? you have several individuals who are tasked with preparing a broken multiverse, and that is an ever-changing, ever mutating, ever breaking, massive, overreaching thing that doesn't seem to be very practical in attempting to repair one problem at a time, but it's all they can do because that's all they can do. It's an existential horror piece as well as something that I think I can really shock you with. So,
Nice. Well, that's definitely, I mean, the shock factor is definitely going to be there. I can tell you that right now. Now we're going to talk to Ben Tinsley about why you need to surrender to Blonde Assassin 3. You see what I did there? You see what I did there? That was good, wasn't it? All right, Ben, let us know why we need to surrender to Blonde Assassin 3.
It's probably nothing you've ever really, I mean, you've probably seen it, but not as wacky. And, it's pretty much everything I want to tell in a story. So read it. Okay. I'm so tired.
It is. I mean, I will let everyone know that as far as Blonde Assassin is concerned, I mean, the first 2 issues that I've read into are so much fun. They're not going to change your lives. They're not going to change the world. They're not going to change your views on things. They're not, opinionated or anything. They are fun. They're what comics are supposed to be, where they transport you into a fantasy realm that you can get away from all of the reality that's around. If you like, hot things to look at, and werewolves are in there too, paranormal factors. There are the puns that are in there are fun to read into. The sarcasm is heavy in these books. It's a lot of fun to go into there and actually read into that. Alternative narratives, like we've already discussed, has no ceiling. So basically, you're going into this not knowing what you're getting, and still reading it and still not knowing what you've gotten at that point. But that's okay, because Jake knows that you know that we know that you know that we know that he knows what you got, and you know it. So now that you know, Jason Doobie, go ahead. We're going to give you a full screen on Jason Doobie's desk on this one. He's going to let you know why you need to go ahead and check this out, and what Scattered Studios has in store for not only this, but coming in the very near future as well.
Blonde Assassin, blood, beasts, and boobs, alternative narratives, awesome, chaotic, fun, and action. Get yours today. Get it now while it's still hot. Grab yourself some copies. Get yourself some add-ons. You'll be so thankful that you did. How's that?
No, absolutely.
That's
you
perfect.
You definitely want to get on board with this, not miss out on this one. It doesn't look like the Tinsley boys are slowing down anytime soon. So if you miss out on this part of the train right here, how long is it going to take for you to actually get the parts that you need to catch up? And right now, if you're looking into this right now and you're coming in late watching the show or anything, and you're thinking, I don't even know what Blonde Assassin is, why would I get on to 3 if I don't know what the others are? Well, that's okay, because you got you covered, because you actually have a catch-up tier on there where you can get 1 and 2 and then get 3 as well, and have all 3 issues in your hands to go ahead and catch up on that. If you're more of a digital follower on this instead of physical books, or if you're overseas and don't want to pay the shipping, because understandable, you have digital options on there where you can at least get the digitals as well. But I'm telling you right now, if you're going to go ahead and go into the Blonde Assassin world, you don't want to miss out on the universe that's being created on this, which is very much described into alternative narratives on there, which is setting the field for how much absurdity Tinsley boys are planning on bringing to you in future issues and things that are coming on. So you don't want to miss out on this. So it's a lot of fun. It is definitely something that people are going to find interesting, going through. Like I said, I've got my copies of Blonde Assassin 1 and 2. I cannot wait to get the others that are coming out, and cannot wait to see what else, y'all have in store coming through with this. So I know Ben's having more internet issues over there. He's popping in and out of here more than the White Rabbit from the Alice in Wonderland type thing. Late for an important date. It's okay. I mean, hey, we have these issues. Technical issues are a part of the show at times. It just happens. But it has been an honor being able to go ahead and be a part of this and go through the process of doing this and going through this. Jason hit the nail on the head earlier whenever he said, y'all are definitely inspiring others to do this, because people who think you don't have a chance to go ahead and take something that's in your head and create it and put it into book form and have it in your hands, y'all are living proof that this actually happens, and it will be in your hands to go ahead and show off. And exactly, Jake's all flexing and showing the gun show over there.
Now he needs a wrestling theme song. Dun, 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 dun.
There you go.
Dun, 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 dun.
There you go.
I'm so hyped for this whole thing coming up. Not just
Nice.
this comic, but all the future ones we have working out for you.
Now, when it ends on Tuesday, May 16th, it ends at 3 p.m., if I'm not mistaken. Correct? That's what I'm looking at on here. I believe it's 3 p.m. is what it's showing for Central Time.
Cool. Okay.
Jason, is that correct?
Oh, that sounds about right. I know yesterday I said 8 days left, so that.
Okay.
You're gonna make me do
So
math.
basically, yeah. So what we're looking at is from the time that this is on here, you're watching this right now, you have got 1 week to go ahead and jump on this, and just a handful of hours to go ahead and jump on and get this. So don't miss out. Get over there, check it out, see what's going on, and support in any way you can. And by all means, make sure you share this out and get it to more eyes that are out there and more people that are, available to go ahead and be interested in viewing this as well. I mean, power of the finger. Y'all know how my shows go. Hashtag power of the finger, the correct one if you can. I'm holding up the correct one. You just can't see it. But use the power of the finger. Hit that share button. Shares do more for creators than you could possibly imagine.
Yes.
If you don't have the financial capabilities to back everything that's out there, shares cost absolutely nothing. But the really cool thing about it is, if you do have the financial ability to go ahead and back this and you share it afterwards, it triggers an algorithm on here which gets them closer to the top of a viewing page, so that even more people will see what's going on and they have a better chance of creating more books out there. As I've said on many shows before, if you're going into comics with the hopes of becoming a millionaire, I'm going to go ahead and crush your hopes and dreams right now. It does not happen. Jake even knows this is. I mean, Jason's working on it. That's the only reason we don't see the rest of his house, is because it's a mansion and everything. We know this. The servants are over there just waiting to give him more coffee and everything. But for those of us regular, the smaller people out here, we understand that, it's something that you do because you have a passion for what you're doing into this. It's something that you do so that you can have the actual physical book in hands and show that you created something and you finished the game on this. Jake, I got to say right now, I am actually honored to go ahead and have you on here, being able to talk about this throughout this process, because being able to hear the story about, 12 years old, being on the Today Show, talking about whenever you started with comics, a lot of people would go with that and be like, this is awesome. That's a lot of fanfare to go through. I'm scared to death. I'm stopping this. I never want to see the lights of, a camera or anything again. And here you are, a little bit older on this one. You're working on, another book to go ahead and get that train running again. You never know. We may see you yet again on TV talking about some things in the near future. You never know in today's, now and age.
Yeah,
He's
you never
already
know.
on the Demon Phil show.
Well, I mean, we're not the Today Show, but we're number 2, and we'll take that.
You're close. You're close.
No, we don't compete with the Today Show, because that's, in the daylight time with the yellow ball of hell, and I demons don't deal with the yellow ball of hell too well.
I watched the Phil show way more than I ever watched the Today Show. So,
and I certainly appreciate that. Well, again, I want to say thank you for y'all being on here. We're looking forward to seeing what else this campaign can do in the end. If y'all want any further information on this, reach out to any one of us that have been up here. You can reach out to Jake Tinsley, Ben Tinsley, Jason Doobie, or myself, and we will put you in the direction you need to go ahead and make sure you get these books in hand. And aside from that, we want to thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for taking the time to go ahead and be here this morning with us. Share some coffee with us, because coffee is life, and it keeps everybody from having an early demise if you don't have enough coffee.
Coffee
So-
with Demon Phil.
There you go. Yeah, we're not gonna make this a regular show, by the way. I'm telling you right now.
I'd never survive.
Exactly. But thank y'all, everyone, for being here. I certainly appreciate it. Hope y'all have a great day. Get over there to the campaign, check it out, see what's going on. And I'm going to finish this off the way I just finish off all my other shows because I love doing it. Y'all stay positive out there. Keep it into y'all.
Peace.